part of your cutlery unit is to make sweet potato chips. And to do this, we have a tool here called a mandolin. Now there are different styles of mandolin. This is what we have at West. The ones at East are a little bit different, and I'll try to explain the differences. Now when you get this in your group, it'll be all folded up like so. Alright? The rubber pegs go on the table. That keeps it from sliding, and you have to pull this out. This end has no lip. So if you put this down there, it's just going to fly out. This end has a lip, so you slide it in there and flip it over. Okay, so now your mandolin is ready. This edge, this blade here is very sharp, so you need to be very careful. Now on this model of mandolin, moving this, if you can see through the camera, gives you kind of like a dice. It'll be long strips that you could then dice, or very wide strips. If I spun it, I need to raise this for a second to get it out of the way. If you can see that blade, this will give you your julienne cut. Alright, and it's perfect matchsticks. Alright, we don't want that for potato chips, obviously. So we're going to remove that and just let this hang down like this. Now, at East, this lever is where you adjust the thickness of the potato chip. Alright, so I don't have one from East to show you, but this is how you adjust the thickness. It's very different on those models. Here, this lever here is how you adjust the thickness. So this lever raises this blade up and makes your potato chips thinner. Or if you drop it way down, we would have monster thick potato chips. We couldn't even cook them. So I'm going to make it pretty thin and then adjust once I make a slice. Okay. Now, this tool, all mandolins have one of these. This is type of a guard. It slides on these grooves. And you can put your potato in here like so and then slice. And it keeps your hands away from the blade. Looking for my potato. Okay. And this blade caught on this one as well, which is why we have some ruffled potato chips here. If you want all your potatoes ruffled, you would use this attachment, but it's very hard to get them through potatoes because they're so coarse. Alright? I personally don't like these because they keep getting hung up. So, one option is to not use this. We still need to keep our hand safe. These are cutting gloves. These are made of Kevlar, which is bulletproof. This isn't going to stop any bullets, so don't think you're Superman. But there are all different colors. The colors represent the size. Alright, so I don't know what size this is. I just grabbed one. This is a large. Alright. So I can rub my hand over this blade and I'm not getting cut. Alright, this is a woven plastic. So I can take the potato over and take a look at it. Now, if you look this way, it looks really thin. But if you look this way, it's still pretty dark orange. So we could probably go a little bit thinner to get really thin potato chips. If you want thicker potato chips, this is fine. Now in class, depending on how the timing is going, you might be asked to store these in a Ziploc bag overnight. And then tomorrow you would fry them. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in water so you can see that next step. I'm going to make these just a little bit thinner. And I just kind of go back and forth. Okay, so these are getting more transparent and they're getting flimsier because they're getting thinner. So I'm going to leave them at that thickness. And you can see how quick it is to slide this. And every potato chip is the exact same thickness. Alright? So I believe in this lab, every group gets half a potato. That's all I'm going to do for this. Alright? So, I don't need my glove anymore. We're going to fast forward to tomorrow. We're going to assume these have been in the water overnight, all right, in a Ziploc bag. And you'll want to make sure that bag is standing up in the fridge or you're going to have quite a mess. All right. And again, you don't have to peel the sweet potato. You can leave the peel on. These have to be very dry before they go in the oil. So you'll put them in a strainer. You could pour them in there. You'll have a lot more potatoes than I do. And then you need to lay out some paper towels to get these very dry. Now this is easier with me because I only have a few potato chips. You're going to have, 100 of these things. Okay. Now if you don't get the water off of these when you put them in the grease, it's going to splatter up and you could easily get burned. Now some of you may be using a commercial fryer, and I will show you how that works. We do not have any oil in it over the summer. So we'll be showing you a second way to fry these. In a commercial fryer, there is a basket. So your potato chips go in here, and then you lower them down into the oil. It only takes about 30-45 seconds. It's very quick. You will use tongs, long-handled tongs, to kind of stir them around so that just the bottom potato chips aren't cooking. They all are. When they're done, they can drain. And then you flip them out onto a sheet pan that's been lined with paper towels. And that would be like this. If we were going to fry them over there, we could flip them right out onto here. Now, a lot of students think this parchment paper is good. Parchment paper doesn't absorb very much oil. The oil sits on top of it. The paper towels will absorb the grease off of your chips. Okay? Now, since I don't have the commercial fryer going, I am going to lower these in the oil using tongs. If I sat up here and dropped them, they would splatter, and that's not very safe. So I'm just going to drop these in here. And as you can see, they start frying immediately. They cook very, very quickly. And you can see the edges are already getting nice and brown. And again, you'll do the same thing in the commercial fryer, randomly flipping them over. All right, they are done. You see how quick that went? So now you want to get them onto the paper towels. Now you do need to turn the oil off on these, on the induction burners as soon as you're done. Oil does have a flash point and will ignite in flames if it gets too hot. The commercial fryer has a built-in thermostat, so as it gets too hot, it turns the heat off for you. And then when the oil cools down, it turns it back up to keep it constant. If you don't like them, I love my potato chips burnt dark. If you don't want them that dark, you can take them all out at this. So that's personal preference. Now, your recipe has you making a mixture of salt and I think pepper to sprinkle on these, and you can do that, just by sprinkling it over the top. You may get as creative as you want here. We have all types of spices. One of my favorite is the Sloppy Joe seasoning, which makes them barbecue flavored. I have had a ton of students use cinnamon and salt, which I never ever would have tried, just randomly. It is very, very good. Some of the students use cayenne pepper and salt to give it a little zing, because cayenne pepper is hot. You could do whatever you prefer with these. All right? Enjoy.